Hello, my name is Ryan O'Shaughnessy, and I decided to make this video because I haven't really told much of my story in the last 10 years. I've kind of just put songs out and put videos out, and I haven't discussed much about me in such a long time. So this is a little bit of a comfort zone breaker for me, and it is something that I think could be like cathartic in a way to like tell some of my stories, some of my past, some of my history, and also give you an opportunity to like get a little bit of an insight in what it's like to be me. So I hope you enjoy the video. I think I'm just gonna let it roll and just try speak as honestly and truthfully as I can. But yeah, let me know if you like it. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe and drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. So I'll start with my early life. So when I was 8 years old, I got an opportunity to play a character in an Irish TV soap called Fair City. And I was actually an actor for 9 years on that TV show. So like I went from being I was in like a dancing school in Ireland called Billy Barry. So I was like dancing and singing, and then I walked into this acting role when I was 9 and stayed there for, as I say, 9 years. And an opportunity came up to join a band, a boy band, in 2009, something like that, 2009, 2010. And I decided I'd leave the acting job because I really liked music. And it's so strange, from like a young age, I always wanted to be a songwriter. It's so strange. I didn't even know what the job consisted of. I'd never written a song. And all through those acting years as Mark Halpin on Fair City, I just wanted to play music. So I used to bring my guitar in. I started playing guitar when I was about 16. And I used to bring my guitar into Fair City and into RTE, and I'd sit there in the dressing rooms just playing guitar, trying to learn songs. The first song I learned was Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton. I saw a video on YouTube of how to play it, and I picked up my dad's guitar, and I started to learn it. So when I joined that boy band, I left school, I left the acting job, and I spent a year with these three guys going around Ireland. We did a panto in Mullingar over the Christmas period, and when August came back around into the new school year, we decided it'd be a good idea to end the band and disband the band. If you really want to look up, and if you've been watching this video up until now, you can look up Mission 4, and there's some videos out there. So yeah, let me know what you think. Actually, let me know in the comments if you've seen any of those. So what happened then was, yeah, I went on my 6th-year holiday over to Magaluf with a few friends, and I had written one song, and it was a song that was like really, it came to me in such an emotional way. So I was mad about my best friend in secondary school. I was really into her, and we were friends, and that was it. And I knew that's kind of where the line was drawn, but a part of me just really wanted to be with her. And it's so funny talking about this now because it seems so long ago, but I wrote a song. So I came home one day, and I'd been playing Eric Clapton. I'd been learning Extreme, More Than Words, a couple of different songs, and I just decided to play this this riff, and it was a bit like a John Mayer riff, and the more I played it, it just seemed really nice. It was like a loop going around, and I started to write like, every now and then I see a part of you I've never seen. And that was the first song I ever wrote. That's the first thing that ever came to me, and like I'm getting emotional just thinking about it now, because it's like such a cathartic experience to have these songs come through you, and into like the first time it ever happened to me, really, where a song would come through, and next of all, like you kind of feel like you've woken up, and and there's this thing you've written on a page, and you've got like a voice memo on your phone, and you have a song. A song has come into existence from somewhere. So that was the very first gift that I was given in a song. And I played it for some friends when I was on holiday, like a 6th-year party holiday, and everyone was getting really loose and really drunk, and I was on the balcony one night and I played it, and all my friends were like, whoa, they're like, you have to do something with that. And one of my friends, Shauna, was like, she was like, what's it called? And I was like, I don't know, I don't have a name for it. And she was like, call it No Name. So that's where the name came from. And after that, there was 2 competitions running. There was The Voice of Ireland was running in Ireland, and Britain's Got Talent was running in the UK. So this is 2012, remember. So I applied for Britain's Got Talent in the UK because I thought this would be really good. If I can play this song to people, and if I can get a YouTube video, like this is my whole mindset back at that time. Is like, if I can get a YouTube video that resonates with people, and if I can share my song with people, like get a YouTube video, maybe someone would recognize me on YouTube, because that's where I was learning guitar all the time, and maybe I'll get something from YouTube. That video now has like 50 million streams on YouTube. So that was my one goal by doing that. But my mom, in the meantime, had entered me in for The Voice of Ireland. So I didn't think either of them would work out. So I went for both. And I ended up getting through to the finals on The Voice of Ireland, and simultaneously started getting further and further progressing on Britain's Got Talent. So something had to happen, because I wasn't able to do the 2 shows. I had signed contracts with Universal, and I had signed contracts with Sony and their rival record companies. So something happened in the background where I was kicked off the show in Ireland, and on the first round of The Voice, in order for me to be able to go through to Britain's Got Talent, because it was a big story at the time. Like, I was 19. I hadn't a clue what I was doing. I was well underprepared for any of this experience, and for this kind of pressure that was being put on me. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to go here? Are you going to go there? I thought I was ready for this, you know. I thought, like, there was a part of me that was like, I've done this for years. I've been in front of TV. I've, you know, I had this like ego, confidence kind of thing that I felt like I was ready for it. But underneath it all, I was so scared. I hadn't a clue what was going on. So I ended up doing a really good audition with Britain's Got Talent, where it just resonated with everybody. And kind of the storyline. So let's talk about the storyline. So when I went to Belfast with 2 of my friends, shout out to Connor, shout out to Kenny. We went up to Belfast one day for the first audition, and when I was up there, I played the song, and they were like, "What's the song about?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. You know, it's just a song." And they're like, "Tell us, like, what inspired it? What's it about?" And this is not on TV. This is what happens. You go for the original audition first, and then there's a couple more processes, and then you get onto the stage, right? So I was like, well, it's about a friend of mine, you know, and I'm into her, and they're like, okay, great, thanks so much, that's great. So when I got a call a few weeks later to say, we want you to come, we want you to perform in front of the judges, they sent a TV crew over to Ireland to start filming the reel that you'd see on that YouTube video. And throughout that whole process, they were asking me, you know, tell us about the girl, you know, who is she, you know, what's her name, and like, how long have you known her, how long have you been into her, and all this. And at that stage, I was like, right, I think I kind of know what's going on here. They're fishing like for a story, and they're fishing for something to kind of hook onto here. And in the grander scheme of things, like, it worked out well for me that they did that, because the video resonated for those reasons. But there was something underlying for me that was personal, you know? And I had a feeling like they're kind of taking this like personal story from me. Like, this is my life. This isn't just a TV show. Like, this is actually my life. So I just kept saying, I'm not telling you. Like it's private. Um, and to get those, like, I think it's like a 10-minute clip. To get that 10 minutes, there must have been about 4 hours of interviews and like different things they went through. So this is all in 2012. I'm sorry if I'm boring you with all the details. You can fast forward or I don't know, go back. But this was, yeah. So if you think about it, this was 2012. So I go out on stage and I can't remember. Anything that happened. Right. So like I'm over there doing an interview. I think it was in Liverpool, and I did a few interviews. And they said, "Right, Ryan, it's time for you to go on stage." I meet Anton Deck. I'm like, "Oh my God, Anton Deck are here in front of me." And I don't know if you remember that Black Mirror episode where the guy they're all on the bikes and they get an opportunity to go on this talent show, and they give them this drink. What's it called again? If you remember, let me know in the comments what that drink was called. Compliance, I think it was. But the guy refuses to drink the compliance drink. I feel like I might have drank like some sort of compliance drink because I don't remember much of what happened on stage. And then as soon as I came off, I was like interviewed and they asked me to call. They were like, "Can you call your friend and tell her that you got through or whatever?" So I was just like so bewildered. I was like, "Okay, yeah." So I called her. I was like, "Hey, yeah, I got through." And she was like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you." Blah blah blah. But what happened the weeks after that was like insane. So not only did I get through, so I got through to like the semi-finals or whatever, and I was like, Jesus, I don't know if I'm prepared for this. But when I got home for the next 2 weeks, there were like tabloid um, journalists. There were like people from different like internet journalists and stuff like knocking on my door, knocking on my friends' doors. They were all trying to figure out who this girl was. And that was a massive storyline. I got offered loads of money from Sunday World to do a photo shoot with her. And like all these things just flooded through in such a short amount of time. And I'd only basically dealt with, Jesus, like my videos after just exploding on telly and now it's on YouTube and I'm getting tweets and every time I reload it's like 1 second ago, 1 second ago, 2 seconds ago, 2 seconds ago, just everybody tweeting me. It was like this information overload. And I was like, yeah, I can handle this. I'm alright. I got this. All the while I really didn't. I really wasn't okay. Like, underneath it all, like I was a stoner. Like I was like smoking weed and I was like just trying to like deal with all this kind of stuff at the time. And yeah, it was really intense. They like knocked on my friend's door. My friends were calling me being like, "Ryan, there's someone from the newspaper is outside the house. Like, what do I do here?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Like I really didn't know what to do. So yeah, so I kind of I wanted to talk about this because it's a lot of people just don't really know what kind of goes on there. Or people might see the video and it's great. Like it's really nice thing to have and exist in the world. And when I talk about that song, it's like a song that really came to me, and it was such a beautiful moment. Really beautiful moment. But I don't connect those songs with like people in particular. I connect those songs with the feeling. These beautiful feelings that can arise. And I think that's really important, So after I did that final, everything went well. I got signed with Sony. We need to put out a record really quickly. And we put out a record within like 3 or 4 months. And it went really well. It got number 1 in Ireland. And it got number 9 in the UK. But then there became a point where I was rushing around so much. I was still 19. I think I turned 20 in September just after I left the label. But I wrote an email on the same day to my management, and I wrote an email to the label on the same day after we had kind of finished the first record, and they wanted another record in a month. So they were like, "We want to put you into sessions with people." But I'd written all my songs myself. I'd never done a co-write before in my life. So it was a really difficult thing to handle at the time. it's just all so mad that happened. Like, and anytime I reflect on it and I go through it again, like, that was such a crazy time. But I literally had to leave because my mental health got so bad, and I was just really sad. I was really upset over everything that happened, I think, too, It's kind of like my personal life was unfolded in front of me for everyone to see, and everyone asking, "Did you get the girl?" Like, and it was never about that. It was always just about the song for me, and I wanted to get a platform for myself, and build something in the music industry, build a career. I had an acting career. I wanted a music career. I wanted to work in music. So I left the record label and I left my management, and I stayed in bed for a month. I moved back to Ireland from London, and I stayed in bed for a month, and I smoked weed to get by and like kind of forget. And after a few months of that, I decided I'm going to book a one-way flight to the States. Well, oh, sorry, it wasn't a one-way flight. I booked a 1 month trip to the States, and I'm just gonna go with my guitar and my bag and just see if I can see a bit of the world. I just needed to get away. So I did that. Flew into New York, and I was on my own, and I just made my way all the way down the west coast, or sorry, the east coast, all the way into Florida, through like South Carolina, DC, um, stopping off along the way. I took the Amtrak, and I was like making music on my laptop on the Amtrak trains. I met some really cool people. I stayed in a hostel for the first time, and I really discovered that there's a lot more to life than what I was trying to obtain by rushing all these things. Like, I want to start a career, and I want to get into the music industry and all that type of stuff. So after a month of being away, I came home and I said, right, you know what, I can just do this myself. I'm going to set up a little label, and I'm going to start releasing songs myself and see how that goes. So that's what I did from like 2013 to now. And I've been on like a crazy journey myself over the last 10 years. Personally, just learning so much, did loads of traveling. I've met so many beautiful, amazing people, and I've made so much music, and I've been able to survive using my music. So yeah, I wanted to share that story. Let me know if you like it. I can make more stories. I can do some more videos. I can talk about different subjects that you might be interested in knowing. But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and peace.